Hey there, Audaciously Disobedient here. Today we're doing another Words Matter. The topic for today is wealth versus money. Context is taxation theft? Sometimes when you're talking to people that believe it's a good idea to use violence on innocent, they say, well, it's the government's money, so they're allowed to tax you, so it's moral and legitimate. So we're just going to explore that idea today. We'll start with some definitions. So, money, a current medium of exchange in the form of coins and banknotes collectively. So it's something that's being used currently or contemporarily, and it's a medium of exchange. Wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions or money. And honorary mention for today would be currency, a system of money in general use in a particular country. So the fiat money we use right now is owned by the government, regardless of who is in possession of it. That is kind of how they say you're not allowed to use it to buy these substances or what have you. This is their common argument. It's kind of like a bank card. If you look on the back of your bank card, it says that the bank card is owned by the bank. It's the property of the bank, so it's their card that they're letting you use to access your bank account. Another thing that you'll hear people do is quote Jesus Christ. And they'll say, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, or give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. That's a quote that I've heard a couple times when talking about this topic. It's kind of related to that as well. So that's the argument of how taxation is not theft. Now, we're all told that we have a moral obligation to pay taxes. It's the right thing to do. That I don't think makes sense, but that's just what I think, so that doesn't really matter, does it? Upon thinking of this topic, I have concluded that property tax is the root of all taxes. It is what creates the necessity to use government money. The way it works, well, government claims to own half a continent. Step 2, somebody builds a shelter on half of the continent. And then a shelter being a house, right? You build your house or your homestead, and then you get caged or you defend yourself and get killed while your neighbors cheer because you didn't pay your taxes, which you're morally obligated to do. So, what steps do you have to take to pay property tax? Well, the government prints the money, right? And so they decide who they give it to begin with. So you go on an arbitrary treasure hunt for these pieces of paper that the government has printed and is now demanding that you give them some of what they made. So obviously you're going to be working for people that they have chosen to give that money to. Step 2, the government takes the money you obtained in the form of income tax. And then step 3, you go find more money so that you have enough to pay your property tax. So this is why it's not just give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, or it's not just that the fiat money is owned by the government, so you have to give it to them. They're the ones initiating violence on people that don't go out and get their money, that they need you to go out and go on a treasure hunt to find their money that they've printed out and scattered across the country to the people that they want to have it. I believe that that is worse than theft, right? It's coerced, forced labor, and violent theft. So you can't just build your home, build your shelter, and trade with a medium of exchange, or choose not to and raise animals or that sort of thing. You are forced to you're forced to go on a treasure hunt to get their money that they've printed so that you can then give it back to them. So I've created, this is obviously just for demonstration purposes, created something that I've just randomly made up, and it's called a effector. And this is a medium of exchange you can use. I hereby claim that I own half a continent, and you all have to pay me in these effectors. I'm the only one that's allowed to print them. I decide who I give them out to, so you better be nice to me, or you're not going to have any effectors to pay me with. It just doesn't make any sense. There's just, people will say it's a necessary evil, but they're just saying that evil is necessary. The possibility of evil will exist because good exists, but it can just stay as a possibility if we are strong and we work towards a better future. So that's it for today. When you're talking about wealth, or when you're talking about taxes with people, and you talk about the government taking your money, I just say the government's taking your wealth, because people will come up with these ridiculous things like give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, when it's just, if you just say they're stealing your wealth instead of they're stealing your money, you can skip all that, and they don't have an extra in to try and discredit what point you're actually making. Hope this helps, and always remember, obedience is not a virtue.